June 22, 1941, the largest invasion force in human history smashes across the Soviet border. 3 million German soldiers, thousands of tanks and aircraft. This is Operation Barbarossa. Hitler expected a swift victory, a collapse of the Soviet state in mere months. But what he unleashed was a chain of events that would ultimately seal the fate of Nazi Germany. So what went wrong? Stay with us as we take a deep dive into the invasion that doomed the Third Reich. The first German miscalculation was both ideological and strategic. Hitler's war against the Soviet Union was never a conventional conflict. It was conceived as a war of annihilation, a Vernichtungskrieg driven by Nazi ideology. This resulted in brutal policies that hardened Soviet resistance instead of pacifying it. Strategically, the German High Command was staggeringly overconfident. They believed the Red Army could be defeated in a mere 2 to 3 months. German intelligence fatally underestimated Soviet reserves. They estimated Stalin had about 150 divisions in the West, with 50 reserves, but by mid-August, the Soviets had actually fielded more than 360 divisions. The Germans shattered the first wave of Soviet armies, only to find their path blocked by fresh, new ones. The initial German advance was devastatingly fast. Armored groups, led by generals like Guderian and Hoth, raced hundreds of miles into Soviet territory, encircling hundreds of thousands of Soviet troops at Minsk and Smolensk. But several critical factors began to turn the tide. First, Soviet resilience and scorched earth, unlike the French in 1940. Surrounded Soviet units often fought with desperate stubbornness, acting as roadblocks long after the German front had passed them. As they retreated, the Soviets implemented a ruthless scorched earth policy, burning crops, destroying bridges, and evacuating entire factories to the east, denying the Germans resources and shelter. Second, geography and logistics. The vast distances of the Soviet Union soon became a German nightmare. Russian rainstorms turned sandy roads into impassable mud, bogging down the supply lines that the swift panzer divisions depended on. The different railroad gauge meant the Germans couldn't use the Soviet rail network, and most rolling stock had been destroyed or evacuated. Third, and perhaps most crucially, Hitler's fateful delay. In August 1941, the German High Command was locked in argument. Hitler's generals wanted to press the attack toward Moscow, but Hitler himself delayed this thrust, diverting forces north toward Leningrad and south into Ukraine. This pause gave the Soviets precious time to organize the defense of their capital. After a decisive victory at Kiev, where another 520,000 Soviet soldiers were captured, Hitler finally redirected forces toward Moscow in Operation Typhoon. But the 5-week delay had a severe consequence. It shortened the campaign and brought the German army face-to-face with an earlier-than-usual Russian winter. The German advance ground to a halt just 20 miles short of Moscow, exhausted and unprepared for the brutal cold. Then, in December 1941, the Soviets launched a massive counteroffensive. The Germans, stretched thin and freezing, were forced onto the defensive. This was Hitler's first major defeat on land in the Second World War. The Blitzkrieg was over. The war of attrition had begun, and it was a war the vast resources of the Soviet Union, combined with its immense manpower, were far better suited to win in the long run. Operation Barbarossa, which began with such stunning success, ended in catastrophic failure. The German miscalculations, ideological, strategic, and logistical, proved fatal. They underestimated Soviet resilience, industrial capacity, and the sheer will to fight. The campaign signaled a crucial turning point in the Second World War. It opened a massive two-front war for Germany and set in motion a bloody conflict that would ultimately see the Red Army fight its way to Berlin. Rather than delivering a quick victory, the invasion of the Soviet Union became the war the Third Reich could not win, ensuring its eventual doom. What do you think was the single greatest reason for the failure of Barbarossa? Was it Hitler's strategy, the Russian winter, or something else? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe for more historical content. Thanks for watching.